Well, chances are you've heard of alternative medicine, but do you really know what it is? My next guest says it's simply incorporating natural health into your life instead of immediately turning to surgery or prescriptions or over-the-counter drugs for everything. And Kathy Gruver says alternative medicine can change your life and your health. She's written this book. It's called The Alternative Medicine Cabinet, Hundreds of Ways to Take Charge of Your Health Naturally. Kathy joins us this morning as part of our book author series. Hello to you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for having me.
What made you decide to write the book? How did you get interested in alternative medicine?
Well, I've thought long and hard about this, and there wasn't one defining moment that got me interested. Even as a little kid, I was reading books on biology and psychology. I used to sit behind my dad on long car trips and rub his neck so he didn't get headaches. My mother passed away when I was 18 of cancer, and even as a teenager in Pittsburgh, I remember thinking, wow, isn't there something else for her other than chemo, radiation, surgery. And though I don't think that was the defining thing that consciously got me interested in this, it certainly sparked my interest in what are some other options for her. And I studied throughout college and then in California, and now have my master's, and I'm this close to my PhD.
Good for you. Congratulations
Yeah,
on that. You know, why do you think some people look at alternative medicine as kind of, scary, crazy, there's no way it can work, all of the above?
Right. I think it depends on how you were raised. I have a lot of clients who grew up in a household where the norm for them was turning to folk remedies or alternative remedies. And then you have the flip side of that, people whose parents only did Western medicine. And even if you look at the media and the way they portray alternative medicine, they use terms like airy-fairy and woo-woo, and you have to go to this back room and you picture this woman in a strange dress giving you some bizarre tea to drink. And in actuality, alternative medicine is really becoming more mainstream. Things like the National Institutes of Health are actually doing research on what some complementary and alternative medicine can do for us. And it's something we can easily incorporate into our lives.
Well, you're out to change a lot of those misconceptions with your book, Kathy. I mean, you talk about everything from the power of massage to red wine, flower essences, natural solutions for depression and anxiety, and there's even a section in there about cancer. But at the same time, you don't want people to think all you've got to do is alternative medicine, right?
Right, exactly. And that's where I like the term complementary alternative medicine. You can swing to either extreme. You have people who would never dream of taking a vitamin because they think it's alternative. And you have the other end of that where people would never dream of going to a physician because they only want to do natural. And I think that's really dangerous. And I think we have to combine the two and pull from all of those toolboxes into what's going to make us the healthiest person. There has to be that place of balance.
It's interesting. On a personal note, I've actually started doing the apple cider vinegar and warm water to kind of daily. I do it to kind of aid in detoxing my body, digestion, and I feel the difference. But how can these kind of alternative treatments help in a way that, let's say, traditional medicine can't? For example, if I took an antacid, what would be the difference in doing the apple cider vinegar? Is one better than the other?
Well, not necessarily. It depends on the person. But what I'm seeing right now is there's a lot of disenchantment with Western medicine. Waiting so long to see a physician who has so little time with you. And even I see the physicians being very frustrated with that. Alternative medicine gives people a voice. It gives them a practitioner that they can interact with in a really friendly way. People come to me, they get between an hour and a half to tell me anything they want to tell me, which is a little bit different than the medical paradigm we're dealing with right now. There tends to be less side effects in using alternative treatments. The only thing you have to be aware of is herbs can sometimes interact with things. But they also feel good. I would love to sit down and get an hour massage. That's considered alternative therapy, and that's something that can make us feel good. And it empowers people. I think alternative medicine really puts the power of control back into the patient's hand and makes you feel like an active participant in your own life.
And here's the other thing I wanted to ask you. You say there's so many externals like food additives, pesticides that we can't control, but we can control our minds, we can control our words, we can control our thoughts. How does this help control our health?
Absolutely. The mind is this vast supercomputer. So if we can change our thoughts, I really believe we can change our bodies. We can use affirmations to change those thoughts. We can only think one thing at a time. So if we're saying things like, I always get sick, or I can't do that, I don't have enough, I'm broke, we're programming our bodies to react that way. So if we can change our thoughts and our words to, I am healthy and well, I fall asleep quickly and easily, I am abundant and full of love, then I think we're going to see these things manifest, and we're going to have health health on all levels of body, mind, and spirit, not just the physical.
Well, before I let you go, I really want to ask you about this one chapter in the book, which I absolutely love. It's called Even Wonder Woman Needs a Day Off, Dealing with Stress. A lot of women have so much stress in our lives, trying to balance it all. What are some suggestions that you have in terms of easing the stress that our viewers can take away right now from this interview?
Right. I think it's really important that you make time for yourself. You know, we're taught now in this day and age that we can do it all, and oftentimes we can't. We're trying. Find a way to fit in fitness. I have a client that actually keeps dumbbells next to her toilet so that when she's sitting there, she can multitask and do her arm weights at the same time.
That is a first. Never heard about doing your biceps.
Hey, you know, if you're watching TV and there's a commercial, get down on the floor and do sit-ups. You know, we still have to wait for things to load, things to print, things to fax. That's a good time to stretch. I think everyone should be taking a multivitamin and mineral. It's really important that we add in these things that we need for health. And as far as sleep goes, you know, that's so important. And bringing things in like melatonin or tryptophan, doing some meditation, affirmations are really, really great for the sleep issue, because if we're not sleeping right, everything's going to be thrown off.
Oh. Well, I have to tell you, some really good stuff. Thank you so much. We should also add, too, this is something that you can do gradually. You don't have to worry about having to all of a sudden go cold turkey and say, this is what I'm going to do. You can gradually ease it into your everyday life. All right. Well, Kathy Gruver, always a pleasure. Good to see you.
Thanks. Good to be here. Thanks.
And once again, the Alternative Medicine Cabinet, hundreds of ways to take charge of your health naturally. For more information on Kathy or the book, please visit her website. It's thealternativemedicinecabinet.com.